I uploaded a video not that long ago, a couple of days now, and I was explaining where I've been. So if you've missed it, go check it out. It would really mean a lot to me, and it would help me out because I wouldn't have to go through the whole thing again. But if you're anything like me, you're lazy, you're not going to click on it, you're going to hope I'm going to give you a recap. And you'd be right, here comes the recap. So essentially, I thought I was done with YouTube. It wasn't really earning anywhere near enough money for me to sustain it, so I started looking for jobs, I applied for jobs, and I had a bit of an epiphany. I sat down for 5 hours, locked in, as the kids would say, and I really worked towards making YouTube work. Did a lot of background stuff that I've been neglecting for about 4 years. Discovered one or two things I never knew, which is going to make my life a lot easier, and I have some solid ideas and some plans going forward. On top of that, of course, channel memberships. I have opened up channel memberships, and the channel members are currently on screen, so thank you very much if you are one of the ones who signed up from that video or have been signed up for a while. To everyone on screen right now, I appreciate you greatly, and I will continue to add names to the screen in every single video that you are of course a channel member, and I will upload exclusive content for you once a week, maybe even twice a week if I think of something else to do. And of course you'll get early access to not all videos but some videos as well. If I upload them in enough time, I'll just release them for early access. If I have to upload them and then set them live an hour later, which is very often the case with me, of course there won't be any early access, but yeah, you'll get early access wherever possible. So with that being said, I was kind of thinking I was going to need to sell most of my collection to raise some funds. I'd already planned to sell off most of my Xbox One/Series X games because if I've played them, don't really see the point in keeping them, because yes, some of them will install off the disc, but the majority of them say on the back of the case you need an internet connection to install this. I think South Park Stick of Truth is one of those games. Creed Champion is another one of those games where you need an internet connection to download the rest of the content. It won't just install off the disc. So I thought, well, once I've played it, and I don't really plan on ever playing it again, it's just going to lose value sat on my shelf because eventually a server will shut down or the studio will close, the download won't be available. I don't want to take the risk. So if I've played it and I don't intend on playing it again, I'm gonna ship it out. So that is exactly what I've done. So right now anyway, I am going to go through the entire list of games that I have sold over the last maybe 3 to 4 weeks. Most of them are Xbox One/Series X. There are a couple of PlayStation games in there, of course, but I do actually have a 360 game. 2 360 games that I sold recently, and we're going to get into those now. So the first game I sold was Wreckfest. I finished this. I enjoyed it greatly. It might be one of the videos that I do for channel members, talk about Wreckfest a little bit. I'm not just going to talk about that, I will talk about some other games as well. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Don't ever really see me playing it again if I'm honest. And I think the second one is not that far away, so I'll probably just pick that up when that eventually comes out. The other game is Aladdin Lion King Jungle Book. I sold that. Now, prices will be on screen. Wreckfest sold for $5 if you're interested. Aladdin sold for $9. This is the triple pack, although Jungle Book is a download. However, I finished it and I've got all the achievements I can off it, and I enjoyed it, but I have the originals on the Mega Drive, so if I ever want to play them, I still can. It's not that big a deal, so I binned it off. Rico, a game I said that I would never try and sell because who the hell wants to buy Rico? Well, guess what? Someone does, and they paid a $5 for it. I think I sold that on eBay. Yeah, sold that for £5. It's a PlayStation 4 game. I don't even own a PlayStation anymore, so I can't even play it if I want to. Then I get to my first Xbox 360 game. The Star Wars double disc, I don't even know what it is, Sith Collection. I don't even know what it is. I've got no idea what this game was. Picked it up unbelievably cheap somewhere a year or two ago, but it only had one disc where it was meant to have two. I think I might have bought it in a boot sale. I think I paid like 50 pence or £1 at the absolute most. This game is like a £20-25 game, which is quite nice, but it only has the one disc. Now I'm pretty sure you can still play that disc. It's not like, oh, this is the install disc and then you have the play disc. It's like two different things. It's like back in the day where Resi 2 came with two discs. You could play with one character or you could play with the other character. I think it was like that in the Star Wars thing, so I sold it with one disc, made it absolutely abundantly clear that it only came with one disc, and I sold it for a tenner. Then came a game that I actually bought to flip, and it is the Fallout 3 expansion of The Pit and Operation Anchorage. I finally managed to sell that for £7. Little Nightmares. I played the first one, and I tell you what, didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to, and I didn't even touch the second one. And I thought, I don't think I want to touch the second one. I'm not sure if they're actually available on Game Pass. If they're not, maybe they will be in the future, but it's not necessarily a game that I'm rushing to play. Like I said, I played the first one and I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to. I don't know why, because I love games like Limbo and stuff, and it's very similar in a sense, but it just didn't quite click with me. I didn't really get on with it, so I decided to bundle them up, 1 and 2, and I sold them for 20. Dead Island. Now, Dead Island 2 is the game we're talking about here. Now, I bought this on Vinted for a £5 with another game that I can't remember for the life of me what it was. It might have been, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was Forza on the Xbox One. I can't remember what it was. However, picked it up on Vinted very, very cheap. It is actually available on Game Pass, and in CEX, I think it's about 12 quid anyway. It might even be less. I decided I was just going to sell it because it's on Game Pass. Now, I know collectors don't normally do this. I don't care if a game is on Game Pass. I want to own it. And for the most part, that is kind of true, but at the same time, I have established that I'm not really looking to keep Xbox One and Series X games unless I know I'm going to play them constantly over and over again. I still haven't played Dead Island 2, and as it's available on Game Pass and I saw an opportunity, I decided to take it. I sold it for 13, which is more than CEX charge. I don't know why these people on eBay buy these games for more than they can get them for in CEX, but they do, and I profit, well, not profit, well, yeah, I suppose I did kind of profit from it, but yeah, you get the idea. Good price to sell that game for. And then we come to my, not my first Xbox 360 game, of course, because I did sell that Star Wars game, but that is sort of incomplete, so that's one of the reasons why I was happy to sell it, because I just don't care about it. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan anyway, so it really doesn't make a blind bit of difference to me whether I have a special edition or just the normal version. This game, though, a game that I've played not that long ago, and I finished it, right? So it's Rugby Challenge 3, and I think it's like the England edition, although I don't think there is another edition. It just says England edition on it. But this is quite an expensive game considering it's a rugby game and a sports game. This thing is worth between 25 and 30 quid, believe it or not. I don't understand why it's worth that much. But considering I've played it, and I'll be honest, I didn't think much of it. I would much rather play Rugby 95 on the Mega Drive or Jonah Lomu Rugby, for example, on the PS1, Sega Saturn, whatever you want to play it on. Those are much better games. And I own Rugby on the Mega Drive. So if I want to play a good rugby game that I have great nostalgia for, I can play that. I'm not a massive fan of rugby, but despite the fact that I'm Welsh and I should love the damn thing, I don't. So I thought, well, I'll cash in. I don't really care if I have that in my collection or not. Yes, I love Xbox 360 games. It's quite obvious to see that. But I'm not against selling games I know I'm never going to play again. And that is going to be a theme going forward. I don't see the point in keeping things I'm never going to play again. If I've played it once and I enjoyed it and I see myself playing it again, absolutely, keep it. If I've played it, I didn't think much of it when I played it, and I honestly, hand on heart, don't think I'll ever play it again, why am I keeping it? What is the point? So I sold it, 25 quid, for a game I don't care about. That is banging. Not the last one though, Sonic Racing, or whatever it's called, Team Racing I think, on the Xbox. Again, got this in a bit of a banging deal. Can't remember what game I bought with it, but I think ultimately it cost me like 7 quid for 2 games or something, or even less, £5 for 2 games. I think it might have come with Cars. Actually, I think it might have come 3. Cars, Sonic, and I think there was another game, and maybe I traded that in. Was it Spyro or something? Anyway, with that being said, it was cheap. Now, I had this on the Switch many, many moons ago, and it was fine. It wasn't anything special. I played it again, and honestly, I don't see me playing it ever again, so I thought I'll bin it off. And I got a tenner for it, so happy days. Trubabrook, a game that is available on the Xbox, but only digitally. I don't know if it's available on Game Pass or not. I think it might be, but even if it isn't, I can still get it on Xbox and play it there. I don't have a PlayStation anymore, so I didn't see the point in keeping it. Sold it for a tenner, which I think is what I paid. American Fugitive, very similar story here. Can't get this on the Xbox full stop, I don't think, actually. But I don't have a PlayStation anymore, so what is the point in keeping it? Sold it for £9. I think I paid less than that, actually. Maybe by like £1 or 2. And then finally, for the time being anyway, I have a game that I actually bought in a boot sale to flip. Don't do it very often, but I did it and made a pretty nice profit on this, although I did have to wait. I had to wait a long time to flip this one on. So if you remember quite a while ago, it was actually very beginning of this year, because the boot sale itself was on the concrete and they only ever do that through the winter months. So it would have been maybe March time of this year. I saw a sealed Batman game on the Xbox 360. and the guy only wanted £1. And I was quite lucky to get it because there were plenty of other collectors there. I knew 2 of them and they buy this sort of stuff. So I saw it, grabbed it before anyone else did. How much do you want? £1. Absolutely banging. I sold it for
7,839 big American buffaloes.
Harry!
What was my profit for the day?
I sold it for £23, and I had it listed originally up for about £50 because there's none of these on the market. It had the lenticular slip cover, which is not something that you find very often anyway, but sealed, you never see these things. So I thought £50 is a fair price for it. Well, maybe top end of fair, but still, you can't buy it anyway. If a collector wants it, you've got to come to me. You can't get it from anywhere else. Well, I kept dropping the price because I had no interest, and in and around the 40, like $39.95 mark, I got a lot of interest on it. Starting to get a lot of watches, a lot of views to it, but no one was really biting. I was sending out offers of about 35. No one bit, and then I just kept bringing it down to about 25. Someone sent me an offer of 23. And I took it. I thought, look, I paid £1 for this, £22 profit. I'm not going to turn that away. I'll just take it because I've had it for so long at this point. All of those games sold for a complete total of around £171. So you could say, well, you're going to put that onto the series balance, right? And yeah, I probably will. But I'm not really going to be paying too much attention to the series balance at the moment, aside from the CEX credit. I'm not really bothered about the cash or how much the collection is worth or whatever. I'm just going to be looking at the CEX credit. That's the only thing that really matters to me. And that's another thing. So the CEX credit in the series, as I'm recording this now, the figure in front of me is £146. I don't know how I continued to do it, but I continued to get that figure wrong. Kept showing you more credit than I actually have. I must have made like 2 or 3 mistakes along the way, and I've been using credit and not updating the figure or something, because I only had £95 in credit as opposed to the £146 in credit that you can see on screen now. So I don't know how I managed to cock it up. Now, I actually realised this a few weeks ago, and I didn't correct, I say a few weeks, I realised this maybe a couple of months ago at this point, and I wasn't correcting the figure properly. I was just taking off what I was buying, and then I was going to address it at a later date. Well, the later date has come, so I'm addressing it now. I had £95 left as opposed to the 146. And if you're expecting some massive shopping spree, you're not going to get it, although I did spend nearly all of the voucher. I thought I was winding down the YouTube channel, and I thought, well, I don't need this £95 voucher. I did consider selling it on some random website, and I think I could have got like 60 something quid for it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. That's me losing £30 essentially. I mean, it's not because it's a voucher, but it is in my mind. So I did what I do best. I went into CEX with £95 in my pocket, and I decided I was going to turn it into even more money. So I had a look around CEX, and I decided on 3 games I would buy to flip for a profit. And I say profit, I just wanted to make my £95 back in cash as opposed to voucher. If I could make any more than that, happy days, but that £95 was the target. So I actually ended up spending £93 here, of course, to use the voucher, meaning that I have £2.20 left on a voucher. Realistically, I could sell all 4 games for at least what I paid, if not slightly more, but I've only listed 3 of the 4, and in fact, one of them has already sold for what I paid. So the first game I bought was Scarface on the original Xbox. I've not actually played this game, and I did think about popping it into the console, but it kind of sold before I had a chance to play it. I think it's cheaper on the PS2, so I could pick that up and play it if I wanted to, but anyway, it sold for 25, and I bought it for, well, 25. So I've not made any money, you're thinking. Well, of course, I'm trying to transfer that voucher into cash, so I was more than happy that it sold for 25. I did have it up for a 35 originally, lowered it down to 30, and then someone sent me an offer of 25, so I took it. If I can make a profit on these, I absolutely will take it, of course, but I'm more than happy to sell them what I bought them for. The next game is another original Xbox game, and that is Digimon Rumble Arena 2. Now this one cost me 25 as well, and I am looking to get a little bit more for it. The condition of this is actually really good. Complete with manual in reasonably good condition. It's got a couple of little marks here or there. The disc is in very good condition. I'm guessing the same person traded in this and the next game that I'm going to show you, because they're 2 sort of semi-heavy hitters, if you will, on the original Xbox, but they're in really good condition. I don't see that very often at all. There aren't many in the company, so I'm trying to get what I paid maybe a touch more. And the other one, again, another original Xbox game, not quite in as good a condition as the Digimon game. This is Crime Life Gang Wars, a game that I have never played or even heard of until I saw it on the shelf. When I say saw it on the shelf, I actually saw it on the CEX website before I went into the store, and they had this behind the counter. I asked to see it. I was like, look, if it comes with a manual, I'll buy it. This was £28. And it came with a manual. The disc is in good condition. Again, the manual is maybe a little bit crumpled here or there, but it's not terrible. And the case itself could definitely use a bit of a wipe down. But again, if I can get 28 quid for that, I will take it. These two are actually listed slightly higher because, again, you can't really find them that often. They're not as common as the Scarface game is, for example. In fact, that Scarface game that I bought in CEX was in my local for quite a while. I've seen it there for a good couple of months and no one had bought it. The fact that I managed to buy it and sell it within 2 days for the same price is a little bit wild. They have quite a few in the company as well, so why someone doesn't just buy it from the CEX website, I'll never know. I guess it's a case of they can see the condition of it and they know it comes with a manual, they can see close-up pictures and stuff, so it does kind of make sense that people buy them on eBay for the same price, if not slightly more. But you do get that warranty with CEX, which is now like 5 years or something mental. But yeah, those, hoping to sell them for about 30 quid each if I can get it, but 25 and 28 if I absolutely have to, not a problem. I'll just get my money back. So that left me with about £17 in credit, and there was one game I knew I had to buy. I had this on the PlayStation 4. I was looking forward to playing it. I had it for a long time, and I never did. Now, I have played this before on the Xbox 360. I actually thought I owned it on the Xbox 360. Turns out I don't, but I haven't played this for a good number of years. This is the Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. This is one of the most criminally underrated games you will ever see on the internet. Honestly, it is so good. If Rockstar made this game, everyone would know about it, everyone would love it, but because it was made by Square Enix, no one seems to care, and I don't know why, because it is such a good representation of essentially Grand Theft Auto in Hong Kong. There's more to it than that, but it's the easiest way to explain it to someone who doesn't really know what this game is, but it just plays so well. Now, it's not in the best of conditions, unfortunately. To be honest, I wouldn't have bought this if I wasn't so desperate to play it and I didn't want to just spend all the credit there and then. The spine of it, which is actually what you have to look at on the shelf, is not particularly very good at all. It has an awful lot of sort of silver coming through from the original. I guess it's a slipcover in a way. So you open it up and it's a book. Where's the disc, I hear you cry? Well, it's in the back of the book. Whoever opened this decided to stick this on the book, which is really frustrating. Could try and peel it off. Would it take his abs away? Quite possibly. The rest of the book is really nice as well. It's got artwork in it and some not tips or tricks or anything. It is literally just an art book, which is quite nice to look. I've had a quick flick through it, and of course you've got a top down of the city there as well, which is nice. But it's just a decent little, I guess, a definitive edition, you know, like a special edition of sorts. I didn't buy it for that, really. I bought it because I wanted the definitive edition, but I bought it because it's just a really fun game. And 15 quid is what I paid for that. Now, I could sell it and probably get around 15 quid back for it, even in that condition. It's not that they're not that common, but I know someone would pay it. But I'm going to keep it because I want to play it. Now, after I've played it, there is a chance I will move it on. And of course, if I do decide to do that, I will let you know. But at the moment, anyway, I'm going to keep it. And I am going to look to play it very soon. And then you can expect a video, well, at least channel members anyway, you can expect a video on that. So going forward, of course, now I have £2 in credit and I need to build that up. Now I do still have a few games I bought not that long ago to trade in. Remember these? So Forza 6, Lego City Undercover and Lego Avengers. I bought these specifically to trade them. Now because money has been tight and I decided to sell off most of everything that I had, really, I've listed these. Now I've had no interest in them because I am trying to get what you can buy them for in CEX, which is maybe a little bit stupid, but as I've already shown here today, people do pay CEX prices for games. Now, when they're this common and not that desirable, given that that's on Game Pass and they're two kiddies games, there is a chance I won't sell them. Now, that's not a big deal because I can trade them in. I don't quite know how much I'm going to get in voucher for them. It will be roughly between 12 and 15. Maybe there's one or two other games that I know I'm never going to play again that are not worth selling, that might trade in for a few quid that I might decide to pick up and run with. But ultimately, I am going to go back onto Vinted soon and see if I can pick some deals up. People are going to start selling things off now, trying to raise a bit of funds for Christmas, so I think I might be able to pick up some decent deals there. The plan, of course, is going to be to have to build that credit up a little bit so that we can go and get some sexy 360 games into the collection, as well as a couple of other games on the Xbox that I want to play. I am liking the idea of maybe collecting some collector's editions as well. So I made a video not that long ago when I was going through the CEX website, and there were a few collector's editions traded into my local CEX, and if I had the credit, maybe I would actually go and pick those up. So the plan, as ever, of course, is going to be to try and build up that credit slightly. But of course, I need to be finding the bargains in order to do that. Boot sales have kind of gone. Not that I enjoy going to them anymore anyway. I very rarely find anything to trade in. So I am going to be relying on Vinted for the most part. And I may go back onto Facebook Marketplace, if you can believe it. If you've had any success on Facebook Marketplace over the last 6 months, let me know in the comments. Because to be quite frank, I don't see anyone buying anything off there anymore. I watch a fair few creators here on YouTube, and no one ever mentions Facebook Marketplace. They used to. A couple of years ago, everyone was doing it, myself included. I was selling things on there, I was buying things on there. There was some good deals. We would walk halfway across town to pick up a Gears Xbox or to pick up a massive bag of Wii stuff, and I was doing it a lot. It was like nearly every week in these series videos, I was going out to someone's house to pick something up. Haven't done that for months, and it's because I just can't find anything. It's just people wanting full price. For like Forza 6, for example, they're trying to get like 40 quid for it. And that was an update into what I've bought. I've not picked up anything else to add to the collection recently. I did go into a CEX not that long ago and have a little look at the games and see if there was any promo copies or anything. There wasn't anything worth picking up, unfortunately. And that's when I decided to buy those original Xbox games and, of course, Sleeping Dogs. So once those original Xbox games sell, I'll let you know. If I decide to trade these in, I'll let you know, and maybe there's something that I can pick up in the meantime. And, of course, I'll keep an eye on Vinted and see if I can find anything to flip or indeed trade in. Let me know how your collecting journey is going. It's been a little while since I've seen any of you really, so let me know what you've bought over the last 3-4 weeks. Thank you to anyone and everyone who has checked out the channel memberships. I very greatly appreciate all the effort you go into to allow me to keep doing what I'm doing here, and I will upload exclusive content to you very, very soon. That will be the next video that I actually upload. It will be a channel members video. In the meantime, you can check out a video where I scoured the CEX website. Click here for that, and until the next time, goodbye.